Well, happy Sunday, everybody. We're just in a woods outside of Luton. Welcome to Flitwick Moor. When I was living in Mile End, in the van, on the church ground, and especially when I had no insulation and I was just sleeping in the back on the floor with a mattress and a pillow, the days, I think the coldest it got to, this was the winter before last, was about -5. And it was insanely cold inside the van. Obviously there's no insulation. And what I like to call it is unintentional Wim Hof for 8 hours every day. And that's because you have no choice but to breathe in freezing cold air all night. And I have not been ill at all since I've moved into the van. I mean, I don't get ill that much anyway, to be fair, but not even a cold or anything. And a lot of people would probably think the opposite. You know, especially living in these cold, kind of damp conditions, especially when there was mold in the van and stuff like this. But seriously, 8 hours of unintentional Wim Hof every night is the way to go if you want to stay healthy. Also, another thing I noticed, because I used to have this illness that I used to get, some people might call it man flu, but I'd just say it's when I basically get overtired and I don't get enough sleep. And I was going to the gym at the time. I've not been to the gym for years now. And at the time, I was eating raw eggs while I was drinking it, and I was actually mixing it with fresh orange juice. And I noticed, basically, whenever I had this man flu, this illness, whatever, this cold, normally I'd be out for about a week. But when I started the gym and I was taking the raw eggs, that I would get to day 2 and it would just be a little bit of a sniffle on your nose, that's it. And that's it, I'd recover. And I've genuinely not been ill for years and years. I can't even remember the last time. I mean, obviously there's COVID times, I did catch COVID, but in terms of, you know, just standard ill, flu, cold, anything like this, it's just non-existent. And I remember someone saying that their grandparents used to use raw eggs as a remedy for when they became ill. So maybe there's something to it. I'd be curious if you guys have heard about this, but there's a tip for you. If you ever do get ill or you get a cold or anything like this, then maybe you should smash some raw eggs. But either way, living in the cold, in the van, I believe it's extremely healthy for you. We've started doing our breathing exercises each morning again. We're doing our meditating, we're eating good food, and yeah, life is good and life is healthy. Look at this orange water here. But yeah, this is where we've been for the last couple of nights before we move into London. And I did mention on the other video, I finally got all of the stuff that I needed to say off my chest now, where I believe like there's a few stories that I needed to help people. That's why I talked about the multi-level marketing and stuff like this, because that was a bad experience and I don't want people to go down the same path. But now we're going to be getting back on the traveling content, and I shared with you guys we are going to be touring the UK, not touring it as in some kind of celebrity and stuff like this, but touring it in terms of the plan is to try and go to every city in the UK. Now, money is tight, I'm not going to lie, and obviously that's going to cost a lot of fuel, but we're going to wing it and we're going to see how we go. And I believe, when I looked, I think there's 75 cities in the UK and we plan to go to them all. So yeah, I can't wait for that. We've booked the van in for an MOT. It needs some new brake pads and discs on the back because we literally drove back from Greece with our brakes at the back especially not the best, so we've booked that in. Everything's going to be refreshed, and then we're going to be good to go. And I believe this journey is going to start the first week of February, so we can't wait for that. So we're going to be going on a proper mission around the UK. We'll see every town, city. If there is anyone out there with an interesting story, we're going to be doing chill out sessions in the van where you can get a legendary English breakfast cooked by me. How insane is that? Not that people would want that, but it is on offer, especially if anyone's got a story out there about psychedelics, with me sharing my ayahuasca DMT Changa experience or anything like this. Van life people, let me know and we can have some interesting conversations in the van. But anyway people, van life in the UK, when people say it's difficult and stuff, living in the cold and stuff, I think it's beneficial for your health. So happy Sunday everybody. And yeah, people in the UK, you never know, you might see Life of Sai floating about in a town near you very soon. So stay happy, stay healthy, breathe cold air, it's good for you. Peace and love, I'll see you all soon. Cold shower therapy? Nah.